first speaker, who is yet another repeat Ignite Dallas speaker, and we loved him so much we had to bring him back. Yeah? Now, Willie is an artist, so obviously he's going to be doing some art while he's up on stage. Thank you, camera. And who knows, you could be in his next Ignite presentation, because I have a feeling he's got a few more up his sleeve. I do have to thank you. He did win the unofficial prize for Best Title for an Ignite presentation. So I would like to take the time to say this out loud as a proper introduction to our second half tonight. Willie Baronet. He is Cajun, so he does pronounce it correctly. Thank you. Busty, Naked Girls Oil Wrestling. From homeless signs to pornographic spam, my MFA journey. Willie, take it away.
It's good to be back at Ignite. So you may be wondering, what does Snoopy have to do with Busty Naked Girls Oil Wrestling? For me, my MFA journey really began there. When I was young. My introduction to art was through drawing. And what was really important about that is that my mom encouraged me. It made me want to do it more. She showed this to everybody. So encouragement's important. Fast forward a few decades, and I just graduated from UTD with an MFA in Arts and Technology. And thank you. And I know if Mom were alive, she'd be really proud, although I'm also pretty sure she would not be approving the rest of this presentation. Grad school for me was the deconstruction of my art brain. My first big influence, Marcel Duchamp. He signed a urinal in 1917 and submitted it to an art show. Everything that I knew about art came crashing down. And in that process, I learned two things about me that are really important as an artist and as a person. I collect things, and I like to make people uncomfortable. I'm a troublemaker. I've been collecting things as long as I can remember. In 1993, I started buying and collecting homeless signs. While in grad school, I also began taking lots of photographs, and those photographs became collections. One of the things I took photographs of was belly buttons. I realized that I am wearing my friends out. Every time I come up with a new idea, they get to participate in that idea. But like my mom, they encourage me. And in addition to belly buttons, I was shooting nipples and taillights and hairballs and scars and lots of things. And this was all experimentation. Grad school wasn't the first time that I did that, because back when I had hair, I used to wake up in the morning and take pictures of my bed head. Some days were better than others, so I'm a collector. A couple of years ago, I started to realize I was getting a lot of adult-oriented spam. Now, it's not important why I was getting this spam. Let's just say that I'm special. But I was getting it, I was fascinated by it, and so I collected it. And I thought, how can I use this to make art with? Some of this spam was bizarre, some of it was funny, some of it was frightening. I was stirred by it emotionally, partially because of my upbringing. I like to joke that the other big influence in my life is the Pope. And that's because I was raised in a very strict Catholic upbringing. Sex was not discussed. So for me to do artwork related to this spam was uncomfortable for me. The work started to come together once I started combining pixelated images with the text. At the same time, I was taking a performance art class, and I decided to read some of this spam as a performance in class. My classmates very enthusiastically suggested that I think about some kind of audio-visual component to this work. So, the following semester, I made a decision that I was going to videotape women reading this spam. I only shot their mouths, and I did a short piece as a test, and I got some feedback from my class. And I became, after that, a mobile video studio. I had in my car at all times my camera, lights, stands, all the equipment. And some of my friends would invite their friends to read, and so I would literally go from saying, hey, nice to meet you, to here's what you'll be reading. And within seconds, they were reciting porn on camera. This process was bizarre for 3 or 4 months. And it was transformative for me because I don't think I've ever spent as much time working on a single piece of art as I did on this one. When it was done, I had shot 96 women in 10 different languages. And it raised a lot of questions for me about art, about spiritual and sexual wounding, about vanity, victimization, feminism, technology, about me as a provoker. Because I may be dealing with my own wounding this way. Maybe by doing this, I'm going to start a conversation that's going to lead to better listening and better compassion. That's going to lead to parents who encourage more than criticize and shame. Maybe it leads to a better world. Or maybe I just like to cause trouble. Thank you.